Did you do all your shopping for men at the world's largest honky-tonk club, despite all evidence pointing to this crop of men being ill-suited to be partners? Did you say yes to the world's hastiest proposal mere moments after being slapped in public and then tackled into a puddle by your brand spanking new fiancé? When your beau left you because you had the temerity to get up on that mechanical bull and show Gilley's you could hang, did you spite ride that bull in the most erotic mic drop imaginable? If so, you may have just been hurled off a bull and into the Unkind Rewind, where we saw the 1980 honky-tonk romantic drama Urban Cowboy.
Thrill me.
I'm gonna name you Kodo. You get a name too, Podo.
His name is Happy Harry Hardon. He's a total sex maniac.
Of course.
Greetings from the North Star State, where I, Josh Dugan, have been getting my own mechanical bull installed in our apartment to prepare for the inevitable reboot of Urban Cowboy, just like John Travolta did for 2 months prior to shooting this film. As usual, I am joined by my co-host Sean McGrath. Sean, did you dive deep into your closet to dust off your mesh shirt collection in honor of prison rodeo hero Wes Hightower?
Yeah, wow, that is his last name, isn't it? Well, you know, and I think everybody who listens to the show knows I already have a pretty extensive mesh shirt collection. So it's not like I needed to get anything brand new, but I'm wearing one now, of course. And I did special order a pretty junky boxing machine to kind of prep myself for this podcast. So both of us have done a lot of physical prep.
Yes. On the line this week, we're joined by the ebullient Lori Ferraro. Lori, have you been figuring out how to best spite ride a bull to best those who've done you dirty?
My God, that scene when she stands and is moving like that.
Oh, yeah.
I was zipped right back into my childhood, remembering, my God, I want to do that someday. So yeah, now I have a new goal again.
How is this not an Olympic event?
I don't know.
Mechanical bull surfing?
I mean, like, if they're not going to bring back breakdancing in 4 years or whatever, like, there's room for something.
Agreed. The way she takes that lay back right at the start there, good Lord, woman.
She's a boss.
Yeah.
She's great. And Sam, my son, was in the room with me, and he was half watching it, and he's
I bet he was fully watching that scene, though.
I know. And I said, Sam, that's the woman from Terms of Endearment. And he was like, I don't care.
I'm wearing a shirt of Patriot, the show, which Debra Winger is the mother in, and which the lead rides a mechanical bull in the beginning.
My God.
So, Lori, why don't you tell the listeners who weren't invited to the very last minute and likely hastily planned wedding last week and missed your Q's and T's installment a little bit about yourself?
Let's see. I am an actor and a sketch comic here in Portland, Oregon, and I've been doing comedy for a long time here. I love movies. Yeah, and Sean and I met a long time ago doing a stage adaptation of Weekend at Bernie's, so that tells you how much I love good movies.
Nice.
Speaking of riding the bull, Lori.
Indeed. Oh, I wrote a bull there.
She had to fuck a dead guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Those were the days.
I mean, there's not many times in life when you can steal the show by fucking a corpse, and yet somehow Lori has notched that one on her belt.
Nice.
We'll get to belt talk much later. We need a whole half an hour for belt talk and buckle talk in this podcast.
Oh my God.
So before we get too in the weeds on the psychosexual dynamics of East Texas honky tonks, where can our listeners find you, Lori?
You can find me on Instagram at Lori Works From Home. I did a series throughout the pandemic where I dressed up every day as a different 80s movie character. So yeah, that you can find me there. And you can mostly find me doing shows at the Siren Theater here in Portland.
Nice.
Did you ever do the little two-step outfit that Debra Winger?
I rode my desk chair like a bull. I'll have to find that one and send it to you guys.
What do you
Nice.
call? I mean,
I
let's
say
just,
that all the time to men I meet. I rode my desk chair like a bull. I'll have to find that photo and send it to you guys.
I mean, we'll get this movie is quite a bit about Texas fashion, but what do you call those little? I mean, I'm showing my naivety here in women's fashion. Those little tops that she wears, which, largely through much of this movie, she's braless,
Yeah.
but she's wearing some type. I mean, I don't even know what I would call that. It looks like there's such little fabric to it. It's got those two straps.
Yeah. I would call that a small tank top.
Yeah, she's
Emphasis
got
on the small. Yeah.
she's got about as many small tank tops as I have mesh shirts.
Yes, agreed. I'm sad you're not wearing like a cowboy shirt today, Sean. You have plenty of them.
Yeah, that's true. I might do that when you guys go on a rant here.
I'm wearing my pearl snaps right now. I dressed for the occasion.
Well, Josh, and we should make note here for Lori and the listeners that don't know, but Josh has some Texas experience, so he's able to weigh in with some East Texas legitimacy here. Maybe not as much. Oh, there we go. He's drinking a Lone Star beer for
Just
our,
cracked it.
For our listening audience.
Josh, have you been to Gilley's?
Gilley's closed in 1989.
God damn it.
I know. I moved to Austin in 2003, I think. Maybe 04. But Gilley's closed in 89 after Mickey Gilley and Charlie Cryer, after they had a falling out. Mickey Gilley, who lent his name to the place, and Cryer, who actually has a patent on the mechanical bull. Or had,
Okay, I
had
got
a
my
patent
pearl
on-
snaps.
Okay.
There we go. I feel
Alright.
better now.
Okay.
Yeah, much better.
Okay. But wait, there's more than one Gilley's, right?
Well, there may have been, but it closed in 89.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like this.
You haven't, because it was the largest nightclub in the world at the time of this recording.
Oh yeah, they told us. They were like, it's
Yeah.
7,000 square feet of concrete that blah blah. Like they were really selling. Come to Gilley's.
Yeah.
There is a Gilley's in Dallas. Just so
But
you
it
know.
is not this.
No, and this is related to the owner, right? Who we see in the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's at the piano.
So Mickey Gilley is the performer who lent his name to it and became co-owner. It was started by Charlie Cryer, who had a patent on a mechanical bull. And then they had a falling out in 89. It burned down the next year after Cryer lost a case in court and was ordered to pay $17 million. He's dead, so I'm not accusing him of burning down something, but the thought has been voiced in public by other people. So,
Okay, well, I need to make this clear from the get-go that Gilley's Dallas has the famous mechanical bull dubbed El Toro from the 1980s Urban Cowboy movie. It is not available for riding, but can be used for photo opportunities.
Of course. Well, we should all get on a plane right now.
I don't know why we're not doing a live event from Dallas.
I don't either. I'm sad.
we can do a reunion show.
That's true. We could do a reunion. Yeah, when we do the telethon for this event, it'll be from Gilley's Dallas.
It's crazy how much of this shot at Gilley's. Like, to think about how much they had to close down the busiest nightclub certainly in the state at the time, and probably one of the busiest nightclubs in the world. I mean, you look at that parking lot, you see all those cars, and it is shocking how many people would have been there.
What was it? 7,000 at one point? James Gammon says 7,000.
Yeah.
Square feet, yeah.
Square feet.
It's like more than an acre, right?
Yeah, he
Didn't
says,
they say
I
it's
wrote
more
it-
than an acre?
I wrote it down.
3.5 acres of concrete prairie.
Yes.
And who's that actor, Josh, who plays his uncle?
His uncle's Barry Corbin, who was
Barry Corbin.
Yeah, Maurice Manyfield on Northern Exposure.
Yeah,
Uncle Bob.
A really great character actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's in No Country for Old Men. He's in I believe, the last scene.
Yep, he's talking to Tommy Lee Jones.
Yep.
But yeah, it's. I wrote down only bar in Houston? ? Because other than a diner, like I don't really see them. It's always Gilley's.
Yeah.
Right.
Gilley's is the way of life here, and even like there's some scenes when it's not packed to the gills, and we just see how deep and cavernous it is, like off the two-step dance floor. My goodness. I mean, I imagine that this was a quid pro quo in some respects. Like, yeah, you can shoot 95% of your movie here. Just keep the name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Crockett actively courted the article that ended up being a cover story in Esquire from Aaron Latham was the credited co-screenwriter on this, and he wrote the piece in Esquire that this was based on. But Latham was going into Gilley's, and Crockett got wind that he was a journo and was like, oh, well, why don't you write a story about Gilley's, basically? So it seemed like he was a very proactive self-promoter. As he also courted Mickey Gilley to be the act that was playing 6 nights a week at the club.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it, of course, too. But this is, we got some heavy hitters that take the stage here at Gilley's.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Bonnie Raitt pops up, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
The Dolly Parton contest.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I just can't.
So last week I said that I'd seen this once about 20 years ago, and holy hell, did I not remember this movie well past the Gilleys of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, what was your relationship to Urban Cowboy?
It feels like it's about 20. I mean, almost in a way of like, did you and I watch this together? Because I feel like it was probably 20 years. I don't remember anything. I mean, I remember the mechanical bull. I remembered, of course, the leads. I didn't remember the punching thing. I didn't remember the courtship. I didn't remember... Like, they get married so quickly in this movie. Like, not just in terms of courtship, but in terms of time, right? Like, this is not
Mm-hmm.
I think they've been together weeks.
Yes, agreed.
It is nothing, the amount of time that they've been together. None of that was familiar to me. This was... I mean, even when we kind of build up to Scott Glenn's nefarious plot at the end, I was still like, oh, yeah, like he's going to rob it, I think? Yeah. I was so in the dark. It felt like a first watch in a lot of respects.
Mm-hmm.
Not Lori, though.
Lori, how long do you think it was since you last saw this?
I think I was 14 to 16 years old, somewhere in there, the last time I saw it. So it was a very long time ago. Sean, when you were just talking about the end with Wes and everything, it kind of reminded me of a Rocky movie. Like, it reminded me of like Ivan Drago and Rocky Balboa, like against each other, and then just this big battle at the end. And it was so fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, it's like in Rocky IV, Lori, when Ivan Drago loses to Rocky and then robs the concession stand.
Yes, it's just like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's a sort of a perfect analogy. And, you know, like the funny thing about Wes Hightower, right, Scott Glenn's character, is that he's like an okay guy for the first like 20 minutes of this movie.
Or his first 20 minutes of
his first 20 minutes of the movie. Yeah, like, you know, he's like respectful. He does tip his hat, of course, which, you know, according to Texas law, Josh, you might be able to weigh in here, you shouldn't do to a married woman. But it's not until he does that like dirty mechanical bull maneuver and hits, like tries to concuss Travolta, that he actually like shows his true colors.
Mm-hmm. How great was John Travolta's drunk in that scene? And I'm not kidding. I thought that was like very believable when he's sitting in the diner, because putting on a drunk can be very hard to watch. And I was like, I believe it.
Yeah.
Good job, John Travolta.
And there's a lot of great kind of nonverbal Texas stuff that happens in that scene. Of course, the hat tip, which, is so funny. And like this movie is just like, it just doesn't give a shit about like misogyny at all. Because those two girls, like Jerry Hall, right? Did we all clock Jerry Hall there?
Yes.
Yep.
Are basically, I fucking Bud.
It's Jerry Hall and her real life sister.
Great. Well, sister share.
Perfect.
With him just like beaming and smiling back at them, just loving the attention. And yet when Scott Glenn tips his cap to Debra Winger, it is the most egregious of effrontery. And he's not trying to hit Scott Glenn there with that, what was it, the steak or the burger that wasn't well cooked or...
Oh, right. Yeah, and he sure is barking at that poor waitress.
Yeah, the waitress is... Yeah, our waitstaffs don't deserve that kind of abuse. But, like, the non-verbalness of, like, if you hit a man in the back of the head with a steak, you have to fight. Like, there's that standoff where they don't say anything, and the next shot is them, like...
outside.
Yeah, like, okay, well, we gotta settle it. A man was hit in the back of the head with a steak.
Yeah, that's Texas rules. Okay, so let's jump to the first question from your pre-interview, Lori. We asked you what you recall the plot of Urban Cowboy being.
Okay.
And you said...
Okay, so John Travolta is a cowboy.
I'm already on board.
Yep. Totally tracks.
Assuming he uses an accent.
Yes. His name is Bud. Debra Winger is Sissy. Now that I very much remember because of the little license plates that they have in the back of their truck, Bud and Sissy. And when they fight in the movie, I believe he takes the Sissy like small license plate away. And I think at the end I don't want to give it away, but I think he puts the Sissy license plate back up. But what is it about besides John Travolta is a cowboy? It's about a bar named Gilley's. And Charlie Daniels plays Devil Went Down to Georgia. And there's an uncle in the movie that plays part. I think John Travolta, he needs a job. And he works maybe in construction. Uncle, and I want to say the uncle's name is Billy or Bobby or and they all go to Gilley's together and they dance, and Sissy wants to ride a bull, and then Bud and Sissy break up. Oh, and then Debra Winger gets this horrible boyfriend that has like really bad scars on his face, like just really bad complexion. And then something happens with the uncle, I think. And then Bud gets a girlfriend with really long straight hair, like 70s hair, like Crystal Gale hair, and she's real pretty. And then Bud and Sissy break up, and then they get back together. That's
Urban Cowboy.
That's the story of Urban Cowboy.
You guys, I did a good job.
Uh-huh.
The man with scars on his face.
I didn't want to be mean. I was like, how can I say this? He has scars on his face.
Are you at all surprised by what stuck out to you and what didn't?
Yes. Like, I love how excited I am with the points that I do remember about the movie. Yeah, that was all right. Yeah, the license plates. That was such a thing that I remember.
What do you think it was about the tiny personalized license plates that made them stick out?
I think because those were cool at the time. Remember, like you would go like to the shore or something, right, and you would get a license plate that said Lori.
Did you have one?
No, I wish.
Was there anything though about... was there anything, Lori, though, about like the kind of his and her nature of that, though? That this couple kind of was presenting their love and presenting their relationship in this kind of fun, quirky, like, equally possessive way, with a license plate kind of behind them as they would drive around. And that was something that maybe young adolescent Lori idealized.
Yes, 1,000%. It's like when this guy named Alan let me wear his ID bracelet.
Or
Like, yeah,
Raphael with his badge.
Raphael, let me wear his badge. I like things with other people's names on them in my vicinity at all times.
But there is something where it's like Lori is a woman who likes the guy to be like, you're mine and I'm yours.
Yes. That is it, Sean. What are you, a therapist?
I just seen a lot of movies.
Some kind of wizard?
Well, yeah. Well, Josh and I, this is the ancillary side effect of this podcast is that we both
I don't like this.
We get to the marrow of it. Now, this is helpful. Like through the tears, there's actually a lot of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you went on to remember the problem being that she was real sexy on the bull, and Bud didn't want that. Did the conflict surrounding whether Sissy could ride the bull or not play differently to you now?
Yes. Why was he so adamant about her not riding that bull? Like, without even seeing her try to ride the bull, he was not having it. And why? I guess because I'm thinking through, like, he didn't want her to have any sort of being on the bull gives you power, and that's a manly thing, and a woman shouldn't be doing it, I guess.
Because he doesn't want her on the bull even before the Wes stuff comes in, right?
That's right.
I went back and I kind of watched a few scenes again, and, he even gives her a little bit of resistance to her trying the punching bag machine.
Yep.
He does.
It's like, that's too much for him. And I think, first of all, John Travolta's never been an action movie guy, and nobody really walked him through how to throw a punch. But, like, there's no way his little baby punches are registering on that thing, and he's getting clapped on the back and hooted and hollered the way that John Travolta throws a punch.
Mm-hmm.
But to, like, not let his sweetie, who he said, like, right before his second punch, this one's for you, darling. It's just such a dickish move to be like, no. This is the guy stuff. And I think, though, that, like, his competitive nature is stoked in such a way that he doesn't want it challenged by the woman that he's with, right? And it shows you just kind of how small of a man he is in that respect.
Big time.
You know what they say, the bigger the belt buckle.
Yeah. Now, you surmised that this was in the South. Was it strange at all to you that this didn't feel explicitly Texas in your memory? Or is, like, a specific setting not something that you typically remember?
No, I mean, like you said, I feel like 80% of that movie was in that bar. It felt right on to me. Yeah.
The funny part is that the trailer park is actually in East LA.
Is that right? They shot that?
Yeah, they shot 2 weeks in East LA, that trailer park. There was one day where they had to shut down production because there was a shooting. Yeah.
Cool.
Now, did Scott Glenn still play entirely as horrible and scarred to you?
No, I pictured him like I pictured Craterface in Grease.
Okay.
Remember him? That guy? Like, that's what I thought. I thought that might even be the same actor, but it obviously wasn't. But that's what I was waiting for. That part where he chews the worm.
Oh, yeah. That must have been such an event.
You know what that was?
A gummy worm?
No. That was a real worm, but that was on a lark just for the dailies. He did that just as a joke for when the dailies went through.
And then they kept it.
Yeah, then it made it to the movie.
I mean, Scott Glenn, right? Like, and I don't really know his filmography. Obviously, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But in the absence of scars, how old is he in this movie, Josh?
He's 41, I believe.
It's 41,
42. Yeah.
It's a hard 41, right?
Yes.
Like, he's been working oil derricks in the Bering Strait.
When he walks in that mesh shirt.
Oh, yeah.
My heart skipped a beat.
Mine too.
What a hunk.
Even with the mesh shirt, he is hitting the CrossFit classes. He's in really good shape.
And people commenting at Gilley's on the shirt, aren't they? Aren't they like, whoa, look at that shirt? I swear in the background, and I have the captions on, there was chatter about this shirt.
You have to be so confident at a place like Gilley's to try a shirt like that.
So apparently Scott Glenn refused to audition for movies. And so what he did to get this role, he knew that the casting director or whoever was there. He walked into Gilley's, walked up to the biggest guy at the bar, and told him he was sitting in his seat.
Shut up.
It could be apocryphal. That was from IMDb trivia. But that's apparently what he did to get this role. And like he said that he was lucky that the guy moved. but he kind of oozes like, that's a fucking man, you know?
Absolutely.
That's a guy you don't want to mess with, right?
No.
Like, even with, like, our first introduction is at the prison rodeo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a guy who served hard time.
And Huntsville is, at least at certain points in recent history, has been the place where the most people are put to death in the country in prison.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
like, Huntsville is not a soft prison. It's max. You know, it's not federal supermax or anything, but it is maximum security prison with a fuckload of people on death row.
Yeah, definitely not a guy you want to throw a undercooked steak at.
He's a real cowboy.
Well, and that's the thing, Lori, right? Like, that's what Debra Winger is after
She wants that.
in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she could certainly head west a few hundred miles and probably find that, but for whatever reason, she has decided to make Houston her home, the biggest city in Texas. But she feels like some small town girl who never shook this adoration, love, dream of settling down with a real cowboy. It's the first thing she says when she meets John Travolta's character. And also, like, when he's leaning against that bar with a bottle of beer, like, I was very much like adolescent Lori in that moment. I'm like, he looks really good.
Beautiful man.
Beautiful man. He's just shaved, right?
Mhm.
Because his, like, draconian
Job.
workplace, I guess, where you can't have a beard. It's like the
No
fucking
beards.
It's like the New York it's like New York Yankees. You know, you can do a lot of like OSHA unsafe things at work, but you can't for whatever reason have a beard. But yeah, he's barbersoled that beard off. But he has to do so little to get approached. Like, he has this gravitational pull. The whole first 30, 60 seconds of their relationship is all powered by Debra Winger, right? Sissy is the one that approaches him, asks his name on the dance floor, asks him to dance, asks him to prove it that he knows how to two-step. He is just like, cannot be bothered. I am going to go home with something at the end of the night. And Sissy just happens to remember from the night before that, I mean, like, when she first sees him when he has that beard, she already has hearts in her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unfortunately, like, Bud's foibles and character flaws come out pretty quickly, but he has that woman wrapped around his finger in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, we get him out two-stepping. Once you
Mhm.
two-step, and they, you know, there's that montage of them just kind of like drinking beers, smoking, talking the night away at Gilley's.
And watching him dance, oh man. Like that shot where it breaks away and he's kind of doing that, that Texas kind of jig thing that he does.
Yeah, kick dancing.
Yeah, kick dancing. When I think at that point in the movie, he's trying to, I think Wes is established in there and watching him do that little dance. And I was just like, man, I hate that kind of dancing, but I like watching this.
I wonder how much of that was for Bud and how much of that was for John Travolta.
Uh-huh, totally. Yeah.
Goes up to the director. Do you think I could do a little, because it is like Saturday Night Fever is still very fresh in the minds of people coming into this movie.
And Grease was the next year too. So like 77, 78, he's got two big movies that are like dance-a-thons basically for Travolta. And so you got to keep, especially there was a bomb in between Grease and this. And so like, I think they're like, well, the people need to see Travolta dance.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably that bomb, whatever it was, they didn't have dancing.
That's right. That's the reason.
Now, you were a little hazy on where the title of the film came from, wondering without certainty if he was a cowboy who came to the city, informed in part by Travolta's having just been in Saturday Night Fever a few years prior, and you thought he was maybe working construction. You also were not sure if he ever actually rode the bull. Was it strange to you that you didn't feel like you'd remembered Travolta's backstory?
Yes, absolutely. The start of the movie, I was like, I have no idea what this movie is, right?
How long's he in the country? What the fuck is this?
Like, he's what? 120 seconds in the country. Like,
Yeah.
and this whole thing with his mother, call us, blah, blah, and the big goodbye and like waving the hanky, and everyone running out. And he's just like, get me out of here. All right. That's where the title comes from. He's going to be Urban.
Call us when you're done with your first threesome.
Yes. Yes. Your mom's on the phone. What a fun aunt, right?
Name of that town, I don't know if it's fictitious or not, was Spur, Texas.
Oh,
It's not
Lord.
fictitious. It's a real town.
Okay, so he's coming from Spur, Texas.
But it's a town of like 200 people, like very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems like a nice family. There's no like dad throwing the beer bottle against the wall to wake him up or anything, but he gets hooked up with the family job. But you're right, like he is out of there. It's almost like he
He's
was
like-
worried that somebody had jumped in the flatbed.
Right. Peeling out to leave. I saw no luggage either. Maybe there was, but he just left.
We did not see the luggage ever.
No,
There was no packing montage right at the get-go. He was just gone.
there was no luggage, but there was an empty beer bottle for him to spit his chaw.
Yes. How much dip was in this movie?
Yeah.
Everyone had, like, even Uncle Bob, where he's like, you gonna shave off that beard? He's got that cup and he's spitting into the cup. Like somebody gave these guys the direction. Just, this is what they do. Do this a lot.
Well, Lori, you don't know this, but this movie was funded by Big Dip. Like it's left and right in almost every
Dip.
scene.
Yeah, it was Redman, Lone Star. Trying to think of what I saw a list somewhere, but I don't know where it was now
Uh-huh.
of the product placement. But Lone Star was an actual. Budweiser was too.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting to the next clip, we asked you how old you were when you were watching Urban Cowboy on a loop, and you said you thought you were probably 15 when this was a staple for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we asked you what you were like at 15.
Oh, Lord.
What was I like? Oh my God. Desperately trying to figure out who I am. And
Okay.
very low self-esteem, I'd say, and looking at the women in this movie like, I wish I looked more like that, that type of thing. And also huge Travolta fan. I mean, from Grease and Saturday Night Fever, holy moly. So I was also watching quite a bit for that.
Well, and also for a girl down in Florida, like Travolta, who is very much the embodiment of a Jersey, New York,
Mhm.
Italian American, he must have felt in some ways nostalgic too. For you.
Yes, he felt more like home, even though he was a freaking cowboy.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, that's still John Travolta. Like he can put that hat on, but I'm like, that's John Travolta. That's not a cowboy.
The hat comes off.
The hat comes off. And yeah, oh boy, he sure is handsome back then. Oh,
God, I'm all swoony. Yeah, so many times in this movie, I was like, that's Vinnie Barbarino. That's not a cowboy.
Lori has the vapors.
Totally. Still, I mean, honestly, so handsome. What a handsome young man that is.
Did you like him with the beard before he shaved it?
I like him without that. When that same shot, when they pan up on him, I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Now, you went on to say that Travolta was your main draw as a teen to this movie. How did you feel about Travolta playing Bud here?
Watching it now, I was like, it was very hard for me to buy into the cowboy. Because I was like, he would do things or look a certain way or whatever. And I'm like, that's just John Travolta in a cowboy hat. That's Vinnie Barbarino. That's Danny Zuko. It was weird. He did a great job. But it was John Travolta. It was a John Travolta movie.
How did you feel about the character of Bud? Outside of the looks, what felt new to you with your eyes today in looking at Bud as a character?
I don't think Bud is a very nice or kind person.
You think? You think?
Is there anything that you'd like to tell your 15-year-old self?
Yeah, don't go for that type of guy. I mean, but that was totally a guy who like you guys were saying about how she had to do everything and approach him, and he was so like laissez-faire about when he's dancing around the dance floor. And yeah, I guess I'll kiss her, whatever. Yeah, I'll take this home and see what happens. Hey, now we're getting married. I mean,
Well, let's talk, Lori. Lay back on the couch because we need to talk about that scene because I think it's probably one of the biggest scenes of the movie.
the dance when they're meeting.
No. When they've already met, they're clicking, they're vibing, things are going really well. They have that really nice kiss. You know, it's like 4 a.m. probably, right? Like
Mhm.
Gilley's closes at 7 a.m. or whatever it is, just to kind of clean out the people who have passed out. But they do have that really nice kind of passionate kiss. And then we go to the fallout from the boxing machine. And Sissy has kind of bruised up her knuckles, right?
Oh, right. Oh, that is a nice, tender little thing.
It is for a second. Because he's like dabbing her knuckles. He's talking about,
Mhm.
you know it when you break your hand.
Right.
They're out with that other couple who, like, I can't really remember their names. Not really important. They don't stick around for too long. But they are kind of like Sissy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, I think she shows up maybe to help facilitate the practice with the mechanical bull. Or somebody does, right?
Yeah.
But, Josh, you know where I'm going with this. It's where we have that little scene with Jerry Hall and her sister, right? She gets a little jealous,
Mhm.
maybe rightly so. He starts tickling her. She says to stop a few times. She pinches him. She gets slapped in the face. She doesn't like that. I don't know too many people that would. She decides to leave. She's going to go thumb a ride.
Oh,
He says, get in the truck, get in the truck. He, at one point, peels off. Then he comes back. He then runs her down, picks her up, drops her,
In a
awkwardly in a puddle of
yeah.
motor oil and water and God knows what else they have in Texas. Gets her up, picks her up. They're both dripping wet.
Yeah.
Shoves her in the car, slams the door, comes around the other side, and then says, you want to get married. Smash cut to wedding photo.
Mhm.
Did that strike you differently, that sequence, than Lori as a 14 or 15-year-old?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty shitty.
Is there something like, I know I'm asking you to kind of go back into your teenage mind, but like, did the Lori who's 14 or 15 see that and go like, that's how in love he is?
Yeah, sure.
And especially during that scene, what I find so kind of vexing and perhaps manipulative is the type of music that is playing during that scene, right? It's like this bluegrass, almost like Benny Hill credit
Yeah.
sequence.
It totally reminded me of Benny Hill, or like there should be like a greased pig running around, and
Yes.
there's like they
Like
should be
something out of
trying to
Hee-Haw.
tie it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a cannonball run, like, yeehaw type of moment. Whereas if you remove the audio, or if you remove the music from that scene, right, what you have is a man forcing a woman to get back in a car, picking her up, dropping her in a puddle.
He's just committed his first act of domestic violence in a fucking restaurant.
You could argue, like, if she was to press charges, that is a kidnapping charge, right? Like, I'm not saying that it would stick, but that could be a kidnapping charge. He is pulling her against her will into a car, slamming the door, coming around. She doesn't even respond to the proposal, right? You want to get married.
Isn't it kind of like you want to get married?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that, right? It's just like
They're
that.
panting. They're out of breath. They're wet from that puddle. It's the middle of the night. He's probably reeking of Lone Star and Chaw. And it cuts to the photo at Gilley's, classy move,
Of course.
of their wedding photo. And I just went like, oh my, like, I wondered how much devastation between 1980 and today there's been from impressionable men and women who see that scene and go like, that's how you do it. That's love.
Sure.
That's love. Josh?
I mean, I fucking hated this scene. I hated it so much. She gets up and she's saying she's getting up because he fucking hit her.
He fucking hits her in front of friends.
Yeah, and he then he doubles down, fucking tackles her basically into a puddle. It's so fucked, and he's so clearly at this point like, this isn't the cowboy you wanted, this is the cow boy that you're getting.
This
you
is the
should
boy.
not be with this fucking guy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so fucking obvious. Things don't get better when this is the starting point, you know? Like,
Right.
this is who this person is hardwired to be. I mean, my note, you want to get married, and then what the fuck with like 17 interrobangs? Like, what is fucking happening here, man? This is infuriating.
I know. And she doesn't have that friend at that moment to come out there and like comfort her or whatever. Like, he slaps her across the face, right? For getting pinched. I don't give a shit if it's hard. You know, he says that again. It was hard. And it shows, you know, to me, right then and there, it becomes Sissy's movie.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we start with Travolta, we start with Bud, and he's the urban cowboy, and we're going to go off on this journey with him and all the pitfalls and ups and downs. And then we have that scene with Sissy, and it veers. Like, it's the Sissy with Wes.
He's the antagonist from this point on to me.
Well, yeah, and then Wes comes back to reclaim that, or at least, like, jockey for that title. But she becomes, for me, the protagonist of the movie. And the one that I want to follow and hang my hopes on. Because John Travolta, for as sexy as he looks in that scene, and by God, they fucking knew it because they put it on the poster.
Yeah.
That image of him slinking against the bar.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the box art. But at that point, like, Debra Winger has never looked better. She is so adorable. She's got a great character. She's really loving.
Mm-hmm.
She's gorgeous. She's sexy.
When she's trying to hitchhike, when she's got her thumb out, the first red-blooded man who drives by is picking her up.
Yeah.
And leaving whoever he's with to be with her. Like, like, you just want her to, like, this is her escape hatch and her to get out of this movie at this point.
It should have been James Gammon, you know, from Major League, the coach, who it was nice to see. Hot damn! And then screech on the brakes. But yeah, she is the Claudette Colbert of 1934 that is going to cause a car to emergency brake stop, which is why John Travolta, like, of course, knows that and has to do that really emasculating, kind of cowardly reverse lights go on. Like, she's called his bluff at that moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has said, like, no, get out of here. You hit me. And she says it a few times, and I really love that she keeps, like, she doesn't have to say anything else, right? Like, that's good enough. That we should be done. That you hit me. And she has some, you know, I'm so proud of her, too, in that moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
That she's not just cowed, that she's not, doesn't just slink into the women's room and sniffle and can kind of be talked out. Like, she's fucking done with this guy. And when we force her back into John Travolta's storyline, and I do mean forcibly put her back in the storyline because he lifts her up and he slams it, puts it in her car. She, at that moment, like, loses so much of her own agency and power that it's only through the bull, right, that she can get it back.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, does she.
But boy, does she.
Indeed.
But yeah, it is so weird to have, and again, like, I can't transpose myself as an adult back to this time and kind of watch it with perspective. But I don't think that's how people saw him. You know, I think people saw him as a flawed, but, like, that's our bud.
I agree. Because when you asked me that question, watching it as a child, that scene did not stand out to me at all.
No. Yeah.
At all. Like, I was like, huh.
You remembered plenty about the movie, and that's not one of the things that you remembered at all during the entire pre-interview.
Nope.
Lori, you were ensconced in an era of filmmaking that did not even come close to really, like, pointing the spotlight at any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 3 women a year in film had agency by edict from all the studios.
Mm-hmm.
So you are in this, like, echo chamber of all these movies, and, like, John Travolta is kind of marketed as this, he's like as hot as you can get in 1980.
Yeah.
Coming off of Grease, are you kidding me? Like, no kidding that he's up on your whatever that
Well, in your mom's closet.
In my
your
mom's closet.
at this time.
And you saw the picture. He's in my bedroom right
I know.
now.
Yeah.
So, like, having an audience at that time, like, stop and go, like, wait, what? And she's just gonna marry him? And now, like, it's back to the trailer park.
Right.
It's a really good example of what works in 1980 and what I, like, am crossing my eyes and my head is turning around 360 degrees when I'm watching it in the light of today. Because he's not the bad guy in this, right? Like, he is not the quote unquote bad guy in this.
I mean, he's like a flawed protagonist. You know,
Right.
He's ostensibly the hero, I guess, because he isn't quite as shitty at the end as he was at the 30-minute mark, but like
he's got a good heart though, right? Like he's trying to do the right thing. Like, that's how we're accepting
that's how we've been conditioned to think he is
exactly
in this time. But like now it's like, holy shit, he is not any of that.
Yeah. He's really immature.
It's shocking how much of a fucking child he is in this movie.
Oh my God, so much.
Okay, so in the next clip, we asked you what memories stick out the most to you about your history with this film.
I do remember because my mom loved John Travolta during that era, and she in her closet had a Time magazine cover, I think, of him doing the Saturday Night Fever pose, like that shot from the movie. So she really liked him too. And she would just breeze in and out and talk about, oh, he's just so handsome. He's just so good looking. Oh, John Travolta, so good looking. And I was like, yeah, you got that picture in your closet, Mom. I know you think he's good looking.
You know what else I remember about that picture? Like, it was signed, but like by a friend jokingly, like to Bonnie, heart, John, or something. And I was too young to understand that wasn't real. So I was like, my mom met John Travolta and he like drew a heart on there. And then one day I was like, why I didn't ask this before, but I was like, when did you meet him and get that signed? And she's like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Artie Cavazzi did that. They're like one of their friends.
So your mom loved Travolta during this era as well as you.
Yes.
Is it at all disturbing to you that you could both look lustily at Travolta in this role?
Disturbing? No, it almost makes me feel like that was like a sisterly, fun, giddy little thing that we had together, and it was cute.
Well, more disturbing because of who Bud is. Not that your mom would be lusting after a 3-year-old or whatever, however old Travolta is here.
Right. Yes, if you put it that way, for sure. For sure. But I don't think, like, again, like during that time, I don't think anyone, like, we just weren't going that deep with it.
He's about 25, by the way.
Okay.
I could see like my grandma walking into the den and being like, oh, why'd he hit her? That's not nice. Oh, he's good looking. You know, like it didn't matter.
There's also so much goodwill that he's bringing into this movie too. So like, I'm sure that there's probably like a very murky line between Bud and John Travolta for you. If he is a guy that like has been in the home and has been in like on the TV and have been in movies that you and the Ferraro household have loved, right? Like John Travolta is carrying into Urban Cowboy all of that goodwill and all of that love and adoration from these other movies.
Italian.
And he's Italian. He's like the pride of the East Coast.
But is Bud Davis Italian?
No, not at all.
No, but that's why the line is so murky, right? It's like Woody Allen and then like the characters he plays in his movies, right?
Yeah.
So John Travolta is coming into Urban Cowboy with a longer leash, maybe, right? Than if you saw Bud played by a different character, right? Like if they went and
like
they got
Dennis Quaid, who this was apparently written for.
Like if they got Dennis Quaid, Lori, to play
Oh,
Bud.
I didn't know that.
It was
Great.
written for him, apparently, and it was also apparently offered to Gary Busey, who had just been nominated for Best Actor for Buddy Holly Story.
Well, how
Right.
weird would that be? I don't think my eyes could unsee Gary Busey on a mechanical bull.
No,
I don't
that
think
would
Gary
be
Busey gets a
bizarre.
mechanical bull in his house and rides it for 2 months to train for
No,
this.
I think Gary Busey would not ride, but instead try to fight the mechanical bull.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
But I could definitely see Dennis Quaid up on top of that. And this is probably just post Breaking Away, Josh?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so Dennis Quaid's a hot ticket. He's got the body. I could see him getting up there and...
Yeah, I could see that too.
Or even, like he doesn't have the mileage that the Scott Glenn character has, but like Dennis Quaid as the bad boy could also have maybe worked.
We both know how I would feel about that, but...
I know. Dennis Quaid, Lori, is Harrison Ford without the charm, according to Josh.
Oh.
All the smarm, none of the charm.
No, I like that. He was saving it up for Great Balls of Fire.
But if Gary Busey...
Speaking of Great Balls of Fire, just real quick, Gilley is Jerry Lee Lewis's cousin.
Look
Wow.
at these connections.
Okay, so let's say Gary Busey is Bud, right, Lori? Like in fantasy world,
I wouldn't care
universe.
about this movie one bit.
But wouldn't the actions taken by Gary Busey seem so much more egregious
Yes.
than they do with John Travolta? Like there's a softness a little bit to John Travolta. Like even the way that he kind of like runs after her in that parking lot is so weird. He's got like those... Not to like reduce it down to just this, but he's got those cowboy boots that are like white. And like as he's like walking, trying to catch up with her, they look like spats in a way. Even that dance that he does is like, it's silly, right? It's not meant to be super sexy. I think like it's not him out on the dance floor.
He's not Tony Manero there.
He's not Tony Manero by any accounts. He's doing a little hokey thing. He's getting a little solo time. But he's much sexier when he's two-stepping.
Mm-hmm.
He's much sexier when he's doing a duet with Debra Winger.
Do you think it's the Thetans?
It's probably the Thetans that he has not excised from his body through the Church of Scientology. Yes, we do have to acknowledge that this is him before...
It's pre-Scientology, right?
Pre-Scientology.
I believe so, yeah.
By a lot, yeah. So he has not had his stress test. So maybe there's a lot of like criticisms that are not very fair here, right, Josh? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah.
As you always do.
Always. I have to rep my people.
But I do think, though, that that's kind of an inalienable point, especially for what Lori has said about the reverence for Travolta, is that he's getting maybe a pass on a lot of the kind of childlike behavior here.
Because he is basically a piece of shit for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
If it's Gary Busey and not Travolta, like you're like, fucking don't go back with him, sissy.
Right.
Find that short king that you were two-stepping with in the beginning. Or like any other guy at Gilley's.
Right.
You are Debra Winger in 1980.
Yep.
Look in a mirror.
Yeah.
She is just so fetching.
She could have walked out with any fucking guy in Gilley's.
Yeah, she could have walked out with Jerry Hall's husband and Keith Richards.
Yep.
Yeah, she could have. So sexy, so cute, so charming.
She just wanted to find a real cowboy. And I guess like that's her quest and what maybe pulls her towards Wes, after the whole kind of blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's at least presumably the real man version of the cowboy that she wants. Obviously he's also an ex-con.
And a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, and the sort of violence inherent in him works its way out eventually also.
But see, there's degrees of violence, right? According to this movie. Like, Scott Glenn is it's a domestic abuse. Like,
yeah.
beatdown situation.
That part where he's making her pick up the cigarettes,
That's awful.
that I found like that when you do this and you kind of I did not care for that.
Yeah, and it could have maybe been a more interesting dynamic if Scott Glenn comes into this movie and he is kind of the cool guy. Like, yes, he has had kind of a difficult past, and yes, he's on parole or probation or whatever the hell he's on.
Yeah.
But maybe that makes Sissy's choices all the more interesting when Scott Glenn is actually like the cool guy. And
for a while, I thought he was going to be, because I
did
remembered
too.
nothing about this fucking movie. So, like, I really thought, like, oh, this movie is, like, super progressive, and, like, the guy who's out on parole is, like, actually a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
Because he is cool for a while. Like, he's cool for longer than Bud is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the rug's pulled out from under us, and our
even,
hunky ex-con cowboy.
And even that like where she comes back to the trailer early and he's got like the hostess in the closet.
The woman who she had just been like, I'll see you later. And that lady, it was confusing that she was the one who came out to me. He's like, she's just leaving. And he's so brazen and awful, just not like, come on out.
Marceline,
that
What a
great
name.
That's a good name.
What it should have done though is she should have come home early, sensed something wrong, and then the closet door slowly opens up and out comes the mechanical bull. Which is like the true other woman in this movie. In many respects, it is.
and I mean, that's a better movie if it's a mechanical bull in the closet.
I like when Marshaline's just like, I'm sorry, Sissy. And she's like, it's okay. It's no big deal. Like she just leaves. And that Sissy's going to be fine with Marceline, when she sees her later. Just like, oh my God.
I know.
Terrible.
Gilley's is the worst if you are a woman looking for a man.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
I mean, it's so sad because like it's the only bar in Houston apparently, right? And like you really feel so sorry for Sissy in certain junctures of this movie because you do feel she's trapped.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what her job is. I know
She works for AAA.
Oh, she's like a towing company, right?
Yeah, she's up on that thing, and then when she, yeah,
It feels like a family job or something, or I can't
her
remember.
dad owns a wrecker, I think.
yeah.
Right. But like to be kind of bandied about between these two men, and it never really seems like an option to just be without both.
Oh, sure. I know that feeling.
Like even at that last scene, right? Like when it's the bull riding, she comes to Gilley's with Scott Glenn and leaves with John Travolta. Right? So there's even like the exchange there because Scott Glenn isn't able to kind of successfully pull off his heist, which of course, I mean, what an awful life that's going to be. Like on the run in Mexico with Scott Glenn, with Wes Hightower before the cash runs out. Ugh.
Yeah.
$5,000.
I mean, that place, it would do a lot of fucking cash. It's a huge, I mean, like when you work at a busy bar, it's not that crazy on a Saturday night, like a really busy bar. It's not that crazy to do a few $1,000s. And this place is like the biggest goddamn bar in the country before credit cards are really like have taken over. So it's all cash in hand,
This place is like a basketball arena on like a Wednesday night.
Yes.
Right? Like this is the
This
equivalent.
is like in the town when they fucking rob Fenway.
Yeah. On a busy night when there's a cash prize. Like wasn't there like 3 separate contests going on?
3 separate contests, yes. The dance-off.
The dance-off, the Dolly Parton contest.
And the boxing thing. Well, the Dolly Parton contest is the night before. In the final night, it's the dance-off, the boxing, and the bull riding.
Which the bull riding, of course, is the highest, right?
Yes.
And the prize for bull riding is Sissy, apparently.
Yes, that's the grand prize.
That's a subtext of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's too bad she couldn't win the fucking prize and just have herself and fuck off on out of there,
Wouldn't that have been the best ending? She rides that bull and leaves on her own, triumphant.
Or the bull just takes flight. Like she has ridden it
Yeah.
so
Like
hard.
Grease.
Yes.
Oh my
Like the
God.
car just sprouts wings. You know, like I recently watched Gentlemen Prefer Blondes with Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe. And that movie is those two together, thick as thieves, like on cruises and going to hotels. And because it's the 1950s, they fuck it up and they both have to marry men who are so far beneath them
Yep.
that it doesn't even enter into the conversation that they can't just be single and enjoy each other's friendships and keep doing what they're doing, like, in perpetuity. They have to, like...
lower themselves to these fucking...
terrible settling of
Yes.
these two women. And unfortunately, like, Sissy is there too.
Yep.
Like, Sissy is settling. She's about to run off with a guy who's an ex-con, about to be a new con, who beats the hell out of her and then makes her clean up the mess from her flailing body. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the prize or the salvation is that you're back with a guy who can't really clean up after himself. I mean, what an embarrassing scene for, like, his aunt to show up and clean their house.
My God, Bud, you two live like pigs.
You live like pigs. Yeah, you should be embarrassed, Bud. Like, you have to be an adult, bro.
You can clean something, shithead. Because the instant, what's her face? The one with the long
Crystal
70s
Gale.
hair.
That was such a
Yeah.
great description, Lori, of who that...
Like
when she-
that stuck in my head because that was so many beautiful women back then had the shiny lip gloss and that long she needs a deep conditioning. That hair is not in good shape, but it's down to your ass.
I think her character name was Nora, right?
It's Pam.
Pam. Okay.
Pam.
I don't know
Ugh,
where I got Nora.
Pam.
Madeline Smith Osborne is the actress.
I mean, what a sweet apartment she's got. I mean, she's got that. She's got that. Oh,
Why would she ever go hang out in the trailer? Like, fuck this
I
guy.
can't imagine her going in
Pam
there.
is also too good for him.
I was thinking about her getting in that bed, and I'm like, she would not get in those sheets. Yuck.
those sheets, Lori, would not bend. You know what I
No.
mean? They would snap.
Gross.
He does not know how to wash his bed sheets. I mean, do you think he ever scrubs the tub? No.
No, and when she has to sit, she probably hovers instead of sitting on that toilet.
Yeah, and she looks like she is like dialed in every night that she goes out. And it's, you know, she's got kind of this shitty trajectory as well. Like she's not afforded.
She also wants the cowboy. Like both of them say something about him being a cowboy, and that she has a whole monologue about her daddy. My daddy doesn't understand, and he's in therapy. No, she doesn't call it that. What does she call it? What's an old-fashioned word for therapy? She calls it something else. He's in clinic, or I don't know, once a week because I like cowboys or
I
something.
think she's still going through that phase. Like, I don't know how old Pam's supposed to be in this, like probably the same basic age.
But just slumming it to like get back at her dad or something.
Yeah, she's in her like early to mid 20s where she's just like, you know, fuck you.
Has a
you, Dad.
downtown loft that her fucking dad pays
Pour
for.
me a
but she's
bourbon. Yeah.
What an amazing apartment that was in the brief time that we were there.
Insane apartment. Clearly they couldn't afford. That was a locations budget issue, I'm sure. Like that apartment was just too expensive to keep shooting at. So they're like, well, we got this fucking trailer. Let's go back there.
They only could shoot between like 2 and 5 a.m. at that
For sure.
apartment.
So despite describing yourself as virulently anti-country music,
Ugh,
you admitted you did like The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I like that.
Which the Charlie Daniels Band performs in this film. Did any other tunes wear you down and make you think maybe there's some country you could cotton
Looking
to?
for love in all the wrong places. Boy, they brought that out over and over again. That was a good song.
Yeah.
Did you read that song's prominence here as maybe more meaningful now than you did when you were younger?
Absolutely. In all the wrong places. Too many faces. Yeah, indeed.
We should just talk just for a second about
Yeah.
how powerful music is in this movie. Like, yes, it does provide, of course, the setting and all these like really great cameos. like when Charlie Daniels Band gets out there, that must have just like melted people's faces in the theater.
Right?
For him to be out there fiddling.
With his eyes
Oh.
closed. Like
Yeah,
he's just so intense just
And
singing
like,
that.
aren't like the strings popping off that
Breaking.
front?
Yep.
That's how fucking hard Charlie Daniels is going. And Bonnie Raitt, seeing like young Bonnie Raitt was really, really cool. There's probably more that I'm saying here.
The other song, which I relate to Pam's character, is that Boz Scaggs, that love, look what you've done to me. Never thought I'd fall again so easily. Oh, that's a good song. I forgot about that song.
It sounds to me like you actually kind of like country
I mean, I
music,
like
and you
that.
just don't like new country.
I don't like anything new.
New country, most new country sucks. Like, I mean, the people who still like record music that sounds like this
Mhm.
are okay, but like most country that charts is like that awful pop country shit.
I'm not going to the
It's
Morgan
unlistenable.
Wallen concert, okay?
No, but I did just buy tickets for Sturgill Simpson.
Oh, I don't know.
Is
know who
like
that
more
is.
of the Americana.
You'd like Sturgill
Yeah,
Simpson.
he's awesome.
But music does function throughout this movie very much as the emotional touchstone for how we should be feeling about these characters. The very first time that they see each other in this movie, or at least Sissy sees Bud, we have the song "Here Comes the Hurt Again."
Mm.
And the first date is looking for love in all the wrong places.
So they should be listening to the songs that are playing in the movie of their life and maybe take the advice that's being dropped in here.
Yeah.
If they wanted a little help and a little advice from characters who don't give it throughout this movie, like there's not a lot of characters that function as counsel, right? Like Sissy and Bud are largely kind of operating on their own accord, on their own, id and ego.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a lot of ego for Bud. But there's so few, like, let me pour my heart out to you and talk to you about this girl that's driving me crazy kind of conversations.
You're right. We don't have that conversation between him and Uncle Bob.
No.
Like, we don't see that. And when Pam comes in the picture, they seem like she's great. That no one is like, hey, what about your wife? Where's Sissy?
Yeah, that woman you're still married.
Yeah, they're like,
what
this
about-
girl is charming and a city girl, and look at how pretty she is. Nobody's like, hey.
What about your fucking smoking hot, awesome, cool as hell dance partner Sissy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you seen her ride a bull?
Mm-hmm.
You fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think Pam could ride that bull.
No.
No, fuck no.
Pam doesn't want to have any part of that bull. And I know that we have to devote some time to the bull, but yeah, it just feels like Danny Zuko had his guys, right? Tony Manero had his guys.
Where are the guys?
Where are the guys? Like even his kind of like hillbilly blonde friend in that diner goes AWOL, for most of this movie after he has the run-in with Sissy, and 5 minutes later after the slap, he proposes marriage. But like, I think that that's a problem with, yes, these characters, but also with people. Like, if you are not sharing your problems with people, if you are not confiding in friends, you're only going to start kicking over chairs in your own head.
Mm-hmm.
Or in your trailer.
Yeah, maybe that heart-to-heart with... You would think that there would have been a scene with his uncle, right?
Yeah, he has like no friends at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
his uncle's cool enough to line up a three-way for him. Like, his uncle would listen. His
Or
uncle
even-
got him a job. Like, what the fuck, man?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to somebody.
Even James Gannon,
Yes.
Lou Brown from Major League, who I remember started the night with Jerry Hall and her sister.
He
Oh,
lined
that's
it
right.
up. His uncle lined up the three-way with Lou Brown.
I watched that scene again, and he kind of like winks and nods his head to Jerry Hall as like show this guy some
Show
extra...
him a good time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Welcome him to Houston, wink wink. Welcome him to Pasadena, Texas.
And I think we can assume that he's not, like, pimping these girls out and that it's Travolta's, like, in one night, Travolta would have enough charm and rhythm on the dance floor to, like, maybe take home these two girls who were just told to show him a good time and then had a good time with him.
Yeah, because then we have the scene with James Gannon where he's shaking down Bud for $200, in an
Yeah.
alley.
Mhm.
And the very next time that we go back to Gilley's, which is, again, the sexiest shot of John Travolta from probably the 80s. I was going to
Mhm.
say ever, but at least the 80s. Because,
That
you know-
one and the shot in Greece where he and he turns and he's got the smoke hanging out of
Well,
his
that's
mouth.
78. Sean
That's
was targeting
78.
the 80s.
You're right.
Yeah.
Then I agree.
I think he's too sweaty in Staying Alive to have it be from Staying Alive.
or Perfect. I mean, you could
Or
maybe
Perfect,
make an argument.
The hip thrust and the hip
Oh,
thrust, yeah. Which directed by James Bridges, by the way.
yeah.
Okay, so the same guy who did this did Perfect.
Uh-huh.
And then John Travolta was in like some pretty terrible projects until he got
Staying alive.
Well, I mean, like the 80s, the 80s is such a weird decade for John Travolta.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get to that, the very next night when he is super sexy and Debra Winger approaches him, James Gammon has a couple new women with him and, gives him like, hey, bud, how you doing? Like, he's just a guy that women want to be around.
Yeah.
But he also could have been a guy that Bud could have confided in, that Bud could have like said, hey, I'm really struggling. I'm feeling emasculated because my girlfriend is better at mechanical bull riding than I am.
Yeah.
Let's, unless Josh wants to toss to a clip.
Not quite yet, no.
Okay.
But I do have something that I kind of want to pick up just real quick.
Do it.
Beside your framed Travolta Stones Rocky dream board
Yeah.
that your husband made you had a VHS copy of Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
Were you aware that Patsy Swayze's first film credit as choreographer is Urban Cowboy?
No.
When I saw that credit, I like burst out of my chair because
No.
that rolled up and I lost my mind, Lori.
I didn't know that. I love that. You guys.
It's all coming together. There's like this connective tissue.
Yeah.
It's like the tree in Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're all just connected to that.
So, when pressed on your persisting love of John Travolta, you admitted that you don't keep up with his more recent output. And we went on a whole thing where we're starting our Travolta Splinter podcast. But you surmised that the last Travolta film you saw in the theaters was probably Face Off.
Yeah.
Do you think there was anything subconscious that kept you from revisiting Urban Cowboy in the last 3 decades or so?
That's funny that you asked that because I for sure watch Saturday Night Fever on the regular. I watch Grease all the time. But why? Yeah, that's very interesting. Why not Urban Cowboy?
Because it's relatively easy to find. Like, it's usually streaming somewhere.
Oh, sure. Yeah, easy. I really, really think it's that country thing that I can't
Okay.
get past. I think that wasn't one that I wanted to, because I just so notoriously rewatch things over and over and over again that I am enamored with. But this one just wasn't one of them for me.
Lori, this is just kind of related to John Travolta's decade of the 80s, but also like I'm curious as to how much goodwill Urban Cowboy basically gave him in your life that these other movies did that we talk about that are much more famous. Because Saturday Night Fever, like his Tony Manero and his Danny Zuko, right?
Mm-hmm.
That like gets you past some of the problems with Bud. Like at least partially, right? Like
In 1980, at least.
in
Not
1980,
now, obviously.
not
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
But what I propose is that Bud's foibles and character flaws didn't give Travolta the leash in through the 80s and his other bad movies, right? Because outside of Blowout, which is the one that comes right after this, we have
Wait, what year was Blowout?
81.
81, yeah.
81.
Oh,
So
gosh. Okay.
So he is shooting that like basically as this movie is in theaters.
Yeah.
But then we have Staying Alive, right? Which is Sylvester Stallone produced.
Yes.
Didn't Stallone not direct it?
I thought
Did
he
just write
directed it.
I thought he directed it.
You're
yeah.
right. He directed it
Yeah.
and produced it. Then we jump to Two of a Kind, where he reunites with Olivia Newton-John,
Gonna be a strange twist of fate.
with Charles Durning and Oliver Reed. We go into Perfect, as Josh has talked about,
the closest thing to perfect that I ever seen.
We do the very strange
That movie is so fucking weird.
Robert Altman film called Basements.
I don't even know that movie.
To not know a Robert Altman movie? Ugh.
Yeah, it's him and Linda Hunt. Like,
What
sign me
the
up.
fuck?
Yes. Then in 1989, we jump to The Experts.
Look who's talking.
With Ari Gross.
The Experts.
And his wife, Kelly Preston.
Uh-huh.
And then, thank God, by the end of 89, Amy Heckerling calls him to do Look Who's Talking. But that is such a
forgettable decade.
A forgettable decade, yes. But also to come off of what he is coming off of in the late 70s.
I know. That's a thing. Like, what a start, right? And then what? Like, because Blowout.
He needed to fire
right?
his management.
Yeah.
You could look at Bad Agents. You could look at like A Bad Manager. You could look at, he stepped on the toe of. There could be some strange thing that a studio head just saboed his career because, like, even with the problems that we're talking about with Urban Cowboy, it was. I imagine Josh knows the numbers on this, but I imagine that it was a big box office success.
It was a hit.
It was a hit. It gives him one more feather in his cap. He does a Brian De Palma movie right after this. Like, the 80s should be the John Travolta decade. And it just wasn't.
It really wasn't.
It really wasn't. And, like, what I hypothesize is that we saw something in Bud that we didn't see in Tony Manero, that we didn't see in Danny Zuko. But we saw this unlikable quality in Bud that kind of soured us. We kind of like lost our gaga.
He lost his shine.
We lost a little bit of it because we saw this like boy trapped in a man's body who hits women, who gets his panties in a twist over a mechanical bull, who is so fragile that he can't have his girlfriend take a swing at a punching bag machine, let alone jump on a mechanical bull. And maybe there was something that like audiences just kind of like turned their nose up a little bit with Bud. That he lost that goodwill. It kind of ended there. And Staying Alive didn't like suddenly resurrect thing when they were like, oh, let's just get him back into the Tony Manero character.
Right.
Yeah, this made $46 million at the box office on a $10 million reported budget. I can't tell how this charted that year. For whatever reason, it's not putting this movie in the 1980 releases, so I can't tell you. All right, so we asked you what expectations you had for your return to Urban Cowboy.
Okay.
I'm sure excited. Like, just thinking about getting really excited to watch it again because, like, I'm like, what is the story? So I'm excited to see what it is because all I have are these flashes of the pretty girls, the bull, the songs in the bar, and that there's an uncle
Character.
A major character who's an uncle who he works for. So yeah, just to piece it all together and to look at John Travolta again.
Do you think you'll like it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it and be like, well, okay, now I'm thinking, did it age well? Probably not. But maybe it did. Maybe it's gonna be great. Maybe it's gonna win an Oscar this year.
Yeah, it could work.
It's looking increasingly likely that Amelia Perez will win nothing after being nominated for 13.
Yeah, there might be an opening.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording this in February, early February, by the way, audience. This is well before the Oscars actually happen.
This is well before we had any idea that Urban Cowboy was going to get an honorific Oscar.
Right.
So it just, it seems like we're having a good time and not being prescient, but obviously, this is before it actually happens.
Yeah, before it wins Best Movie Ever.
Yeah.
Right. Best Travolta ever.
But probably Best Mechanical Bull.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, that might be a lock.
Uncle, maybe.
Best
this uncle that Sean and I have no recollection of at all.
Best supporting uncle.
Have you noticed I am so excited about this movie and I love hearing my excitement. Like I feel like I'm listening to my like that was like when I was a teenager. Like that's really fun to hear because I do get so excited about stuff like that. But also what an impression the uncle character made on me. Like for what reason?
Well,
I
it's
don't
because he liked your
know.
post. He liked your post.
I mean, maybe, my God, but like,
You have a personal connection to him
I
now,
have a
you know?
connection, but I really remember there being something about Uncle Bob, what I call him Uncle Billy. It's Uncle Bob. Um, I did write down one thing about, and it's like in this long list of stuff I wrote, and all in capital letters, I wrote, "What is this factory?" Like,
It's an oil refinery, I believe.
great. Didn't all I saw was things going up, being placed, John Travolta with a rope, and then of course Uncle
I think it's a
Bob.
very East Texas job,
Mm.
working on the oil refinery. Yeah.
Mm.
It's hard for me not to think that they got a little heavy-handed with the near-death accident that John
With
Travolta
John
goes through.
Travolta? Oh God.
Because of how Christ-like he kind of becomes as he like splays back. I mean, we do kind of we're kind of
Well, he's the Antichrist though because he's hanging upside down.
Yeah, he's upside down, and then he
Good
hugs
point.
the board. Oh,
But
yeah.
we're mirroring a little bit of kind of the mechanical bull stuff, right? Like Sissy does a little bit of that too, right?
Well, the language of cinema is telling us that Bud almost dies because Sissy had the temerity
Yeah,
to
that
ride
bitch.
that mechanical bull.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that she's not home when he's in the bathtub, like that whole thing where he's listening to the conversation, and then that's a great scene where she's like, she lies and says she's with her girlfriend or whatever, and he's actively listening, and then he sits back and like props himself in the tub to be like he wasn't listening.
Was he drinking a Budweiser in the tub? I know he's drinking a Budweiser right around this point, and I think Budweiser is the beer that Bud drinks when he's the worst.
Mm.
He's drinking Lone Star when he's cool. Budweiser
That's
when he
interesting.
sucks.
And he's also taking pills because or the aunt is there cleaning up and giving him like downers, and then he's drinking the beer in the bathtub.
By the way, Josh,
does. If this was 1980 medicine.
Yeah.
Adjusted for inflation, this movie would be right around top 10, top 11 at the box office. So if we could adjust the inflation from 1980, it would have bested the new Planet of the Apes movie as well as Gladiator 2.
Oh.
So this movie made a lot for 1980.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 46 million, which is what they say its end total was on the film page, would have made it the 12th highest grossing movie after Popeye, but before The Shining.
Oh, I love both of those movies.
And those movies, I think definitely those movies were made for more than 10 million. Like, I think
Popeye was expensive, an expensive failure, and
Yeah.
The Shining was expensive too, I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right, though. Like that, she wasn't home or she wasn't there for him, which in no way would have affected like what he did up there.
Anything that happened.
Anything that happened, but it is therefore because she was somewhere else doing this thing that her husband doesn't want her to do. Shame, shame. Like, therefore she is culpable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the blowout in the subsequent scene when he finds out like that she has been there and all that stuff. Oh, it just feels like there's two roads have diverged in a wood, Bud, right? Yeah. The road where you realize that your girlfriend, because you didn't want her to do this, but she really wanted to do it, went and did it anyway because she's a woman of free will.
And she's his wife here, not even his girlfriend.
Right. She's your wife, but she went to go do this thing. The road splits, and one way is just be fucking cool about it, and the other road is be a complete dick.
Yeah, and he definitely chooses the latter.
Mm.
Now, Lori, you were excited to get back on the bull and wrap your head around just what exactly the story of Urban Cowboy was.
Mm-hmm.
What emotion did that excitement give way to upon finishing this rewatch?
I remember letting out an audible, huh, like that kind of noise.
Okay.
Huh. Like that was, uh, and it's because of everything we've been saying. It's like
Yeah.
when I said, I wonder if it aged well. Um, yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So I think we're good to move on to picking up the scraps. Do we have anything that any of us haven't talked about that we want to touch on?
Can I say a line I really love a lot that Debra Winger says? My legs are sweating, Mama. When they're taking the wedding photos and her mom says, just one more, Sissy. And she's like, my legs are sweating, Mama. It's so cute.
It's a very quick thing, but I think one of my favorite jump cuts is the first time that we see Travolta in bed post mechanical bull, and he's got his legs up like he's in stirrups
Oh, yeah.
at the gynecologist, and he's icing his balls down, and just see like the visual of that.
Jackie didn't understand why he was doing that, and I was like, it's his balls.
Yeah. He hasn't quite figured out, and God knows those nut hugger genes, like, there's not a lot of places, like, you have to be really careful, right?
Yeah.
I imagine that you learn somehow, like, do a lot of, like, upper placement or something like that so you don't get pinched down the leg. It's a component of bull riding, a mechanical bull riding.
His uncle has a plastic nut.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a
That's
cute little
right,
line.
yeah.
That almost felt like all improvised, that whole dinner scene. I thought that was great.
Yeah, his uncle is, like, one of the more lovable and
Charming.
yeah, like, likable characters.
I would want to hang out with that couple, right? They're like
Yeah.
her dressing up like Dolly Parton and then popping her boob in the parking lot. That's all so cute.
Yeah, that's all real fun.
And there's even that look that he gives his wife when she tells Bud's mom that he's at church. He's like, he's not going to be the one, to spoil the party.
Right.
Yeah, this Uncle Bob is one of the true heroes, one of the true good men of Urban Cowboy.
Until he gets cooked like a hot dog over a fire.
Yeah, God, that sucks. It's such a weird thing, too, right? Like,
yeah.
Did we need that in the movie to kill off Uncle Bob? Like, just to kind of bring Sissy back into Bud's life.
I know. And she hugs that. And she's like, I didn't know. And she's like, I loved him. And the aunt's like, I know you did. It's so sweet.
I guess this is a scrap, but like the hiding of the note is always such a kind of a compelling and like interesting thing that happens in movies, like how it's employed here. And that Pam does fess up, I think is kind of like a nice redemption.
I like that.
Yeah.
That it made me so mad, and then that she had the balls to tell him that.
Yeah. You kind of feel for Bud in that moment that he was deprived of the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, we wonder, like, in life if there was some missed note or missed text or missed email or call that didn't go through that could have shaped something in our lives with people, with friends and lovers, that Pam is rectifying here, right? That note, had Bud read it, would have reunited them maybe before more damage from Wes, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that she deprives him of that truth, certainly takes Sissy out of Bud's life longer, but puts Sissy in more peril because it puts her in more proximity and time with Wes, who is a bomb, right? About to go off.
Yep.
But yeah, that was as far as scraps, like that's probably where I'm at.
Okay, so Irving Azoff, who is a producer here, he was
Did you see the other producer on this?
Yeah, Robert Evans. I'll get to him in a second. So Azoff he was a music like talent manager exec for Geffen Roberts. And he represented Fogelberg. He represented the Eagles.
Wow.
That's why those two are on the soundtrack, presumably, and probably a lot of the other talent is on the soundtrack.
Interesting.
But yeah, he secured the rights to the story, and then Bridges was attached after. Bridges had just earned Oscar nominations for screenwriting for adapting The Paper Chase and for original screenplay for The China Syndrome.
Yeah.
Bridges had also, before that, written for the Alfred Hitchcock Hour.
Yeah.
In the mid-'60s. Now, IMDb trivia says this, so it's maybe not true, but Sissy Spacek was originally cast for this, but had a falling out with Travolta, apparently, leading to Winger taking her place. Robert Evans, who was the other producer in addition to Azoff, purportedly sent Debra Winger back from location deeming her not attractive enough.
Wow.
Which, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, but Bridges went to bat for her and said he'd quit if she wasn't approved as Sissy.
Good.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, and Bridges was kind of a mentor to her, I guess, per his Wikipedia page. So who knows how true that is either.
It'd be really great if like a window popped up right here and it was Debra Winger joining us.
Oh my
wouldn't
God.
that be amazing?
Just stop it.
That's kind of all I got. I mean, this had like a 70 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 61 on Metacritic. So
I did write a list, and it's
Sure.
short, of just things that stood out, because like looking at the list now, I think it's kind of funny. Okay. My first thing says, this is like a long MTV music video. This is like a commercial for Gilley's. Bud is a jerk. I like Uncle Bob. My legs are sweating, mama. Things are not for girls. This is an Italian guy wearing a cowboy hat. Dip. Wes's shirt. You're a real cowboy, ain't you? What is this factory? Then it just says Vinnie Barbarino. This is like a Rocky movie. This is a lot of lanky, long women. No wonder it made me feel insufficient as a teen girl. And then the last thing I wrote is nipples.
Was that in reference to Winger or the Dolly Parton?
I think a lot of the ladies in it, like, and
Yeah.
especially Debra Winger,
yeah, going
and
braless, yeah.
just and how just there that look that as Lori as a teenage, I'm 5'3", short, grew up struggled with my weight my whole life. It was like, I'm never gonna be that lanky and long. Like, look at how she just wraps her whole self around him and the bowl and everything. It's just like that. So there's my Urban Cowboy takeaways.
Love them. I guess let's move on to major gripes. Let's try to keep it relatively short since we're running kind of long here, and Lori probably would like to eat.
It's dinner time.
Yeah. Starting with Lori, what's your biggest gripe with the film?
Just the terrible, the way he treated her, the way Wes treated her. Like, I hated watching that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, those two scenes, ugh.
It's just a hard thing. Like, there's a lot of movies where we have, whether it's Prince of Tides, or, to use a 90s example, Radio Flyer, where we have a bad guy beating a woman. There's so many instances of this. Like, we go back to Streetcar Named Desire, right? But to have our hero, to have our poster boy do it, God, it just makes it complicated in a way that I don't think they meant it to be.
Yeah.
And I agree with Lori that, like, kind of repugnant men that, God, Sissy, you just walk away from both. It's okay. Just be single for your 20s. You will find a good man.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life. Guess what? You can even find a good cowboy.
There are other bars, too. You don't need to just go to Gilley's.
Right.
Yeah, or, get out of Houston. Or get out of Pasadena, wherever the hell they are.
Gilley's is in Pasadena, but it's a greater Houston area. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I didn't expect the moment to come so early, but it did. It's like 10 or 15 minutes where he smacks her across the face in public, wrestles her to the ground, puts her in his truck. What do you say we get married? It's so hard for me to continue forward, wiping the slate clean and looking at Bud as like the guy I want to root for and the guy that I want to win after he does something that like should have been the deal breaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
It really should have.
Yeah, I mean,
Same
fucking gripe.
Yeah.
Like, it's so frustrating.
This movie is shot well. It's got a great score. They've got good actors here. They have,
the bones are here for a good movie.
Yeah.
And
they got Uncle Bob.
Got Uncle Bob.
If you had any reason to think that fucking Travolta had grown at all, if Bud had grown at all, showed any semblance of growth or change or anything, but he hasn't. He's done nothing to fucking earn her back. He hasn't shown even one shred of remorse about how poorly he's treated her. If anything, the only thing he's bummed out about is that he didn't see the note.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she had to come fucking apologizing to him, which is...
And he's kind of a dick.
Fuck off. Yeah,
yeah, he is. Yeah.
So how would we fix this film for a modern audience?
How would we save this?
How would we save this? Starting with Lori, if you've got some.
Just what you just said. Why wasn't there a moment at the end? Why was there never a conversation had where he's like, he doesn't. I'm sorry. I love you, baby. Like I'm gonna do better. Like there's never that conversation. There's never that acknowledgement.
And I do get the sense that, like, maybe they're intending this to be about how broken these men are. And, like, that it's I don't know, some like, uber textual or textual thing. But, like, it's still, like, it's impossible to come out of this not rooting for Sissy to have a good life, and you don't get the sense that she's going to at all. So.
No. I think that would be the way to change this movie up, is to have Sissy choose neither of them and walk off into the sunset by herself. I mean, that would have been yes. Great. Did this movie ever get made into a Broadway musical?
It did.
What did they do?
Hopefully she wins.
I mean, how did they address that?
It didn't last that long. Yeah. It was like 8 weeks or something.
You know, I mean, Josh, I don't know if you have one. I mean, like, you've kind of talked about it.
Definitely, she wins the $5,000 and fucks off. She wins the bull riding competition.
No, I think that's great. And I think, like, that's kind of where I was headed, like, as I'm watching that end of it, where, okay, I don't think he hits her, right? Like, we can still have him be a child. We can still have him be impetuous and highly reactive and, like, triggered by the slightest things, whether it's a hat tip from Wes or some other thing. Like, he's got a temper,
but then he's just a child, and he's not like taking it out on her physically,
right?
Exactly,
because he drags her off again too. Like, it's not just the one time in the restaurant and the parking lot. Like, it happens again where he kind of like grabs her by the arm and, you know, yanks her away and shit like that. Like, he does this more than once to where, like, you know that it's going to escalate because DV doesn't stop. It keeps going and it keeps getting worse because the more you're a piece of shit, the more you continue down this road.
But if there was a moment, right? Like, if there's a moment in this movie where Debra Winger is on that bull and we cut to John Travolta and maybe we slow down time, but he then realizes, it finally clicks for him that this woman who he loves, and he does love her, like, this is her happy, this is her at her most Sissy. I have to let her be Sissy. And he gets it. And he's the first one to come to her after she wins the prize, right? That she wins first place at the fucking Gilley's mechanical bull ride. Like, then we're going off in this, like, yes, there's other issues, but, like, he's learned and he's grown.
Yeah, something clicked and he fucking gets it.
I like that.
But we get none of that, obviously. So,
no.
Saving graces, your favorite moment or element of the film? Throwing to our guest first. Lori.
I like that the montage of them falling in love. I like their kiss.
It's so sweaty.
Yeah, and it's so real. You know what I mean?
They're
it's
the only
real.
two people
it's
in the
a real
world.
Kiss. I love that. That and Uncle Bob.
For me, it's Debra Winger. I think she's fantastic. I think she's so good. I love her smoky voice.
She's a fucking star.
She's a star, and she's like just on the bull. Why in 1980, like a movie star can have that type of impact on a mechanical bull, which is such a cheap novelty, right? In essence, it's not something that comes up today outside of like shitty bars in spring break.
Mm-hmm.
But like she's so ethereal almost and angelic on that thing. And the way that those lights at Gilley's kind of backlight her, she has this halo effect through her hair a lot of the time.
Yep.
And she's a little thing, right? This is not some 5'11" Jerry Hall, with blown out Farrah Fawcett hair. She's like 85 pounds, like 4'11", just nothing. And yeah, she's just like so compelling to watch. And again, root for her, which is why like at that moment where like it stops becoming John Travolta's movie, it becomes Sissy's movie, I was so invested in her, and Debra Winger went off to do really good work. And as Josh mentioned in Patriot, still continues to do good work.
She's so good.
She's listed at 5'4".
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, God love her.
Obviously, for me, it's also Winger, and it's the Spite Ride. It's the Spite Ride. Fucking nails it. Like, that's the most iconic fucking moment of this movie, is the Spite Ride.
Yep.
I mean, that's the one thing that, like, I wouldn't have expected in this takeaway. Like, I knew about the mechanical bull, but, like, Sissy on the mechanical bull is what I take away from this movie, rather than, like, Travolta's weird, like, it's boring.
It's like she's the first person to slam dunk.
Yeah.
Like, she's completely revolutionized mechanical bull riding.
I don't see any difference, right? I don't see any difference in scoring or style or skill.
Right, where they're like 8.7, 8.
Like,
for what?
Arbitrary nonsense. Fuck all that. Like, if she did that ride, she'd be walking. They'd give her more than $5,000.
I know.
Also, we didn't mention it, but like as one of my like scraps, the like dance to you drop competition that they didn't take part in, but they gave a lot of airtime to. I loved kind of watching that,
Yeah.
which also felt a little arbitrary. Where it was like, oh, you slightly slowed down, you're out of here.
You're out. Tap on the shoulder.
I would love to watch a dance competition like that.
Right next to Hands on a Hard Body.
Yeah, that was just the decade of like these
ridiculous contests. Yeah.
Exhaustion-based contests for cash.
Mm-hmm.
Or cars.
Okay, so getting out of here, Lori, you were looking forward to revisiting Urban Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
How did you ultimately end up feeling about it upon your return these many years later?
I was glad to watch it again. It was more of like a roller coaster with really unfortunate dips. But like the highs were pretty high.
But
like
also fortunate dip, like the dip in the
trough. You guys, we keep coming back to dip. But like the lows were low, but like I was smiling a lot throughout the movie, and I enjoyed watching it again. I did. For the most part, I did.
I think though, like, to put on my therapist hat here, is these movies of Travolta that you came back to so many times that were a part of, not only your adolescence, but also your adulthood, right? Mm-hmm. There was something that adolescent Lori innately felt about Drugstore Cowboy that kept her away from this.
Urban Cowboy.
Urban Cowboy, yes. I've done that before, and I put a quarter in the jar. But there's something that Lori knew, perhaps, about Urban Cowboy, where she didn't make it a staple. Yeah. And she didn't make it an annual thing. And she didn't return to it in the same way that she returned to Travolta. And it certainly wasn't based on aesthetics. Sure. Because he looks sexy as hell in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Before we say goodbye to the listeners at home, where can they find you, Lori?
They can find me on Instagram at Lori Works From Home. And if you're in the Portland area, you can find me at Siren Theater doing funny stuff with my friends.
Will you be doing this movie?
watching, Sam was like, the siren should do this. And I was like, yeah, let's just wait. Let's wait. No, nope.
I would love to know how you would pull this off. Like, there'd have to be such egregious cuts. But
Yeah.
Who's going to play the mechanical bull?
yeah, you're going to have to get Rob to play the mechanical bull.
That'd be amazing. That'd be worth doing.
It almost would be worth doing. Shout out Rob Campbell.
Well, Lori, thank you for subjecting your youthful love of John Travolta to the scrutiny of the Unkind Rewind.
It has been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. This has been really fun.
It's been our pleasure.
Yeah, you were in the right place, not the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
And we love you for it.
Love you.
That was another installment of the Unkind Rewind, mining our childhood for content, one film from a guest's past at a time. Unkind Rewind is a Munchcasts production and can be listened to wherever you download your podcasts and watched on the Unkind Rewind YouTube channel. Music for this and every other episode of Unkind Rewind was composed by Divorcio Suave. Rate, review, like, and subscribe to Unkind Rewind on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Good Pods. Links to all of our social media accounts are in our show notes, but you'll find us as @UnkindRewindPod on Letterboxd and nearly every social media platform, all of which can be found at our website, unkindrewind.com. If you have a question, concern, complaint, or feedback, you can email the podcast at unkindrewindpod@gmail.com or call into our call-in line, area code 507-479-6440, and leave a message that can be played on air. Fans should join the Munchcast Discord to discuss this or any other episode of the Unkind Rewind with like-minded people. This dialogue may just make it into a future episode of the pod. The Unkind Rewind Patreon will be coming soon, so start squirreling that pocket change away. Thank you for listening to the Unkind Rewind.